What's up, everyone? Lead meteorologist John Choquette here for our daily hail forecast on the first day of storm system Brandon coming in across the plains and into the Texas and into the southeast tomorrow. It's starting tonight. Looks like the main focus is going to be very strong gusty winds, possibly some tornadoes, but today of all the days is probably your best chance for any hail. Kind of break down where you think that hail is going to be. We're going to have potentially a tornado outbreak tomorrow in a lot of areas that saw tornadoes last week, unfortunately. So kind of a rinse and repeat from last week. A lot of those same spots in the southeast could see big time tornadoes tomorrow. And finally, we'll be looking ahead to next week for that next storm system that could be coming in. That one would, if we decide that we're going to name it, will be named Carter. So kind of alternating the genders and stuff here. As always, thanks to our sponsors in the description below, C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, and American Contractor Show. If you notice, there are no ads. So big thanks to them. They're finally getting, they got everything all set up here, so there aren't going to be ads interrupting you before the video, but instead the little banners that you've been seeing from a couple of our sponsors recently. So we're going to go into upcoming events here. Beacon has a grand opening on April 14th, it's my birthday, here in Aurora, Colorado. I think we'll have Bill there, so come check us out. Should be a good time if you are in Colorado, and go chit-chat with Bill. I think you're going to have a free lunch with that. So let's see what's happening right now across the country. Currently, you can tell where the storm system is. It's located just to the east of Denver here, that big swirl in the clouds. You zoom in a little bit into the central and southern plains. This is all virga, which is basically precipitation that's not reaching the ground. Same up in Kansas City. I think the radars here are picking up way more than what they should be. But notice in Oklahoma, Kansas, and even parts of Texas, there is a fair bit of clearing. So that should set the stage for some potential severe weather later on this evening. However, it looks like we're going to have a pretty strong cap in place. It is warm, but not warm enough to overcome the cap. So what's going to happen is we're not going to see too many storms during the day, but then once the sun goes down, we're going to see a lot of storms this evening. Unfortunately, that means that for John and Derek, we're going to go chasing for the news channel and be out late as crap. So, you know, that's how it rolls. So 76 in Dallas right now, 70s as well here in Oklahoma City. And those dew points are a little lower than what they should be for a big time tornado outbreak. So we're not expecting too many tornadoes with that. We're going to jump in that future radar right away here though, guys. We're going to start in Nebraska and in Kansas as we push forward here. We got pushed a fair bit all the way into the evening here, about 6:30. Notice that we have a fair number here of storms that are going to form in the dinner time hour in Kansas. So these could have some hail with them. Again, any of those initial storms that form today will have hail. And then what's going to happen, you're going to see here on the future radar, at least in Kansas, Nebraska, is it all kind of turns into a bit of a mess. We saw this last week. Chance for hail, and it turned into a squall line. Well, it looks like we're more confident in this time, so chances are it'll be isolated storms, but whatever. So we have a chance for some storms here in Topeka about 9 p.m., and then possibly moving into the Kansas City area by about 10 or 11 o'clock, extending all the way down to Wichita. Notice the numerous storms that blow up in the overnight hours. Another thing to keep note, notice the isolated storms here northeast of Omaha. There is a chance there could be some isolated storms. Your best chance for isolated supercells will likely be near the Omaha area, but it's kind of I'd call it a high risk, high reward situation. You get one or two storms that might happen, that might have hail, that could get close to Omaha. So keeping pretty low chances there, but notice a lot of storm activity. And once we get to about the 11 o'clock hour, we are crossing I-35 with a lot of gusty winds and then potentially some hail as well. Yes, Casey not getting anything again. The streak continues. It's possible. I mean, the models are showing more in the way of a wind, but I know a lot of you folks who watch us in Kansas City know that I am apparently the kiss of death for any kind of storms here for the Kansas City area. And then that rain and storms continue well into the overnight hours. If we shift our way to the south here in Oklahoma and Texas, we have some storms. Look at that. We have to make it all the way to 8 o'clock before anything forms. So this is after sunset in far south of southwest Oklahoma for anything to form at all. So it's going to be quiet all day today, folks, especially if you're watching in Oklahoma at the Orca event right now. Fast forward to about 9 p.m. Storms quickly develop all the way up into close to I-40 in western Oklahoma. And pretty much what's going to happen here is, again, those initial developments are going to have best chances for hail. And anything that has bigger hail, anything that can develop and stay isolated for even a little bit, could get a little bit bigger hail here. We zoom in directly to the Oklahoma City area where the model's updated and got a little faster. So my zoom in didn't time right, but between 10 and 11 o'clock, stuff's going to be moving through Oklahoma City and heading towards the Tulsa area. Again, notice by about midnight, though, that hail risk is probably going to be pretty much over, and it's going to be a line of strong winds along the I-35 corridor. Down by Dallas by about 1:30 in the morning, storms will be moving in, and it will be a line of storms by the time it gets to Dallas. I think Dallas's chances of hail are pretty small. Gusting winds are very possible as we move towards tomorrow morning. That sets the stage for Wednesday's potential tornado outbreak in the southeast. So we're going to go right into what we're expecting for that max hail size today. Nothing too impressive. Again, notice how we had a lot of more lines of storms, not isolated supercells on that future radar. That really will keep hail sizes down to probably at most ping pong ball size. I wouldn't be completely shocked if we saw a golf ball report, but it'd be probably the only one. I think the maximum size is more likely around that ping pong ball size, and that's initial development. So that first hour that storms go up, that's your best chance for ping pong ball size hail. So what is it? The C3 group storm Brandon hail forecast here. It's a weird looking one, I know, because again, that initial group of storms that are going to form, that isolated activity is your best chance to get some ping pong ball size hail. We're going to kind of go down the line here. Notice again, low chances overall. Omaha, I almost pushed the up to maybe golf ball size hail up to you guys. There's a chance that we could change this. Today is one of those days where we'll very likely have an evening update since nothing really starts till very late after the workday is over. So keep an eye out on that. I'll be chasing, so it might be Andrea or Frank or somebody doing that before the workday is over here. But Omaha right now, low chances, I think $1 to $1.50 size hail. Same goes for Des Moines. Notice here, Kansas City, I've kept it pretty conservative. I've kept the ping pong ball size hail off to the west, so maybe we could see some storms sneak their way off to the east here. But right now, again, that wind chance seems to be really dominating. Moving further down south, I have a low chance for Wichita, low chance for Tulsa. Wichita, I think of bigger population centers, you have the best chance. It looks like a lot of storms are going to form pretty much on top of you. So you have a good chance of seeing more than $1/2 size hail. Oklahoma City having moderate. The models have been consistent today of storms forming pretty close to the city. So it makes me think we'll see at least quarter size hail somewhere in the metro, very possibly a little further to the south of the metro. So like more in Norman and less Edmond and Guthrie. And I do extend that orange all the way very close to Norman, and then Lawton as well, Wichita Falls as well, possibly some hail up to that ping pong ball size, and that moderate chance all the way down to Abilene, where these storms are going to fire all the way down to about I-10, and it looks like they'll be kind of close to Abilene, so we got that moderate chance of seeing hail in general, and then up to maybe ping pong ball size hail. And over here in Dallas-Fort Worth, again, low chances across the board of around maybe quarter size hail. So that's what we're seeing for the hail forecast. For the wind city forecast, that's what I got. For the city forecast, between 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. here in Oklahoma City, that's where you're expecting the storms to move through, and they're going to probably move through pretty loud and pretty quick. We could see a lot of strong winds with this. Hail sizes overall pretty low. Again, $1/2 size hail is what I'm maxing out at, but I wouldn't be shocked if in like Moore or Norman you could get some storms that get a little bit bigger hail, maybe around that ping pong ball size. Moderate chance of getting around that quarter size hail, but notice golf balls, I do not think we will see golf ball size hail unless something drastically changes between right now and about 10 p.m. to favor isolated storms. It's not looking like the case. City forecast for Kansas City, I know you guys are probably not happy I have this on here, but I have between 11 p.m. and 2 a.m., possibly even a little earlier than that based off when I made this graphic to the latest model data. Things seem to be a little quicker, so possibly even from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. And then here up to that ping pong ball size hail. That's far western sections of the metro, the Kansas side of Kansas City, probably even further off to the west there. Low chances overall across the board for storms, and then no chances again for that golf ball size hail. I'd be hard pressed to see more than 1 or 2 reports of golf ball size hail at all today. So that wind forecast of Storm Brandon for today, again, I think the wind is going to be the bigger story once things get going, once we get that line of storms to form. We could see up to 65, maybe even 70-mile-an-hour winds, maybe even a little higher than that further to the south. But the tornado chances, moisture is not our friends with this one, so we're not going to see too much in the way of any tornadic activity. Low chances for tornadoes across the board, probably moderate chances of seeing wind gusts in excess of 60 miles an hour across the board. Here in Oklahoma City, down to about Abilene, this is where I have the tornado icons. That's your best chances of you might sneak out a little spin-up tornado here or there, but even then I think weak tornadoes are going to be the name of the game, and very likely quick, short-lived, along the line. I think winds possibly up to 75 miles an hour could happen somewhere between Oklahoma City and Dallas. So we'll be keeping you updated on that. So that really shifts everything over to tomorrow, where I think the tornado chances really start to shine a little brighter here. So this is what we have for that future radar. We have the line at 6 a.m. pretty much from the Fayetteville area to just to the east of Springfield, Missouri, down to east of Dallas, and this thing is going to race across Arkansas by 11 a.m. We have a line of storms passing Little Rock already, get a little further to about 2 p.m. and this is where things get much more unstable, much more favorable for tornadoes. So even when we have an intense, very defined line of storms, this really is a little deceiving. You may have a lot of tornadoes within that line of storm. So we call them QLCS tornadoes. I'm sure a lot of you guys who live in the Southeast or here in Oklahoma or in Texas have definitely dealt with this before, where you have a line of storms and a little appendage comes out, spins up a tornado really fast, possibly even a strong tornado, and then it races off to the north and east, and then ends up lifting pretty fast. They're very hard to predict, but it can be very numerous and very damaging. So this is kind of what we're looking at for tomorrow, where we could see a lot of tornadoes along this line of storms as it races off to the east. Even if there aren't any tornadoes, even if there are tornadoes, they'll have probably pretty intense winds as well. This has the potential to be a derecho event. I know a lot of folks are aware of those from last December and from 2020. I don't think we'll see 140-mile-an-hour winds or anything, but winds in excess of 80 miles an hour is definitely possible across a wide swath here. As we move to about 4 o'clock, notice the storms look a lot more impressive as they pass Memphis and we get into sections of Mississippi, and unfortunately there is a chance that some isolated storms could form down in Louisiana and parts of southern Mississippi, like south of I-20 in the deep south, which again last week we had a very unfortunate strong tornado across New Orleans. Hopefully we don't see another city get hit with a big tornado tomorrow, but that potential is definitely there. By dinner time, we're moving into Alabama, and this risk will continue into the evening hours. Here by 8 p.m., we're going to be moving into the Birmingham area. Notice there are some isolated storms. There is a chance you could see a couple isolated storms out ahead of this line, and that could really pose a threat for stronger tornadoes as well. And then by about 10 o'clock, we're past Birmingham, and we get to the 1 a.m. hour, and we're moving towards Atlanta, and thankfully the line will weaken significantly as we head towards Thursday morning. So how does that line up for all of our risks? Well, for the hail forecast, unimpressive. You see a big line of storms, chances are you're not going to see too much hail. So low chances across the board, the absolute minimum, maybe a couple quarter, get a couple pockets here and there where part of the line sticks out a little bit and can get a stronger updraft to have some hail. Low chances, maybe some quarter-size hail across the board, and oh no, I went, there it goes. The camera decided to do its own thing there, but low chances, very unimpressive for hail, but the wind forecast here, sponsored by American Contractor Show, is a different story. Looks like we have a much more significant threat for wind, especially really highlight here the darker blue for eastern parts of Arkansas, all of Mississippi, almost all of Alabama, from probably about Jackson, Tennessee down to Memphis, and the vast majority of Louisiana could see those winds in excess of 80 miles an hour with the strongest storms. And with the tornado risk as well, we have low chances up to the north from Indianapolis to St. Louis. It's not impossible you could see some gusty winds, or see some tornadoes, but the chances are much lower than further to the south here, where we are likely going to see a tornado outbreak from Jackson to Birmingham, both high chances that we could see some tornadoes anywhere in the hatched area. It could see significant tornadoes, so strong tornadoes, EF2 or stronger. Memphis to New Orleans as well, you got that moderate chance of seeing some tornadoes, but I think really the I-20 corridor here in the southeast from Mississippi to Alabama could be the real hot spot for that tornadic activity tomorrow. Low chances for Nashville and Atlanta late at night going into Thursday morning. So I'm going to break up some most at-risk cities as well to kind of give you a better idea. Again, Jackson, you're very high, almost like that extreme risk. Birmingham at high. Little Rock, probably about moderate chance. I think the storms won't be as strong when the storms move through tomorrow morning in Little Rock. Memphis and New Orleans, about the same, that moderately high chance. And then up in Louisville, Kentucky, there you go, shout out for Andrea, she's producing the video. They have a chance. There could be a couple tornadoes, but I think the wind threat is much higher. Across the board, I think we'll see significant number of wind reports on Wednesday. And this will all push to the East Coast for Thursday. And this is Merlin Law Group's, yeah, look at that, we got one from Merlin too. So this is for the future, looking ahead beyond what storm system Brandon's gonna do here once we get to, so this is the storm right now, get to Wednesday, pushing ahead to Thursday. There you see everything pushes to the East Coast where we could see some severe weather across a good chunk of the I-95 corridor on your Thursday. And then Brandon pushes off into Canada on Friday, and that sets the stage for the next storm system that looks like it'll push in here, potentially Carter here for Sunday night, moving into the Pacific Northwest, and then by 6 p.m. on Monday, that is a favorable look here for potentially some severe weather. If we get good moisture return, that we could see severe weather across the I-35 corridor going into that first full week of April. So we got one storm after the other here, guys, so we're gonna see quite a bit of activity coming up. That look-ahead forecast for Storm Brandon for Thursday, again, mentioning that I-35 corridor from about Daytona Beach all the way up to New York City, we could see some severe weather on Thursday. Again, more wind and tornadoes possible. So a lot to talk about here, guys. Again, we'll have a forecast update later on since we do have that chance for storms to start much later on this evening. So check us out on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. And look, we got TikTok on here too. We're currently working on having our live videos, this broadcast exactly, to be live on TikTok Live. They need to get back to us to kind of help us out with that, but we are posting pretty regularly on our TikTok account. We've got some fun content on there, probably some behind the scenes stuff, especially if we're doing live coverage. You could have a live video behind the scenes or some of our storm chasing footage, whatever it is. Everything's all at HailTrace, easy to find. Follow us on all of our social media platforms. We post all over the place on all kinds of stuff. And of course, you can call us at 855-334-4245. For any comments, questions, or concerns, you guys need to get yourself set up or whatever it is, first time here, we're here to help you out. We're answering the phones. And of course, you can email us at info@hailtrace.com. Talk from the phone's not your thing. You can even go on our website for more details and message us. Lower right-hand corner of the screen, got the little chat icon. You can chat with us there as well. So thanks for tuning in here at the 12 p.m. hour. Got a lot to talk about with Storm System Brandon. And we'll have an updated forecast for later on this afternoon if anything changes, since nothing isn't really going to fire until after the 5 p.m. hour. And we'll see you again tomorrow at 12 p.m. as well. Have a good day.